Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So, I've been getting this a lot lately. In fact, I posted a offer in the Facebook group to kind of help start everybody off on getting their first shipper. Okay. And I have had agents, brokers, those of you that went out and got your own authority, that kind of a thing. And I've also had carriers that said, Tim, it's got to be better out there. I want my own customers, right? I want to go customer direct. I'm tired of dealing with brokers, or work less with brokers. And that's fine, right? So I did this and we're making progress, right? Finding out what lanes they want to run, what type of, what their niche is. If they don't know what their niche is, then we kind of discuss that, go over that. And we're helping some people out land their first customer. Again, if you've been in the industry for a while, you should kind of know what to do at this point as far as freight sales, right? But for those of you that are new, I really kind of wanted to help everybody out, or at least as many as I can. I don't want to get bombarded, okay? But for a handful to kind of help get them started, and I'll probably do it again, once I get these other ones covered. But for now, we're having a great time. I love the discussions, the excitement of it all. It's almost kind of rejuvenating, right? Because we get into our day-to-day of being a freight broker or an agent, and after a certain period of time, it just almost seems mundane, and you start to feel complacent and things like that. At least it happened to me when I first started, but in the beginning it was very, very exciting. Obviously, I don't have that issue anymore. I drink too much caffeine, right? So, but I wanted to go over with you kind of how I approach freight sales and why I'm able to land more customers. Okay. And I'll probably go over a specific example of one that I had today, but let's cover this again. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Again, we have links in the description down below. eCarrierCheck, great source for finding carriers. If you're a carrier looking for a broker, if you're looking for shippers, there's 40,000 plus shippers in there with contact information. We've had multiple people go in and sign up, and they've reached back out to me and they're like, Tim, thank you, right? Because it's really a phenomenal service that they provide over there. And I almost regret telling people, right? Because I kind of want to keep it a secret for myself, but I can't do that, right? I can't, because that's what this channel is all about, is sharing my tips, tools, resources with everybody. So and if you are someone looking for a new factoring company, or you're starting out and you need a factoring company, again, we recommend Operfi. I can't say enough about the rock stars over there. Danny, Tom, everybody over there, just a phenomenal bunch of people. I can't say enough. They're truly straight up, and we have a link down below if you'd like to reach out and talk to them. There's no commitment, right? But feel free to call them up and see if you'd be a good fit for them, or fill out the contact info rather. So they provided us with a link for that. If you don't have your DAT subscription, need a DAT subscription, we can save you 10% off. Again, link down below. If there's something that I don't have in there, if you're looking for a TMS or something, feel free to email me at, I need to have this handier to pop up, freightmasterresources@gmail.com. If you have anything you'd like to share with me, questions on anything, it doesn't even have to be related to this video. Again, I have a very vast network. I've got a ton of resources and tools that I can provide for everybody. And I'll absolutely give you my recommendation for that. So, okay. Moving on and getting on to our topic for today. Let me pull up my notes for you. And I apologize for kind of the lateness of this video. Again, I've just been running a million miles an hour since this morning, and I got my energy drink, right? Which, I don't know, probably a bad idea, but I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. So, all right, let's go. The world of freight sales relies on building strong relationships, right? That's something that we've always tried to impress upon everybody. Don't treat anything as a one-off. Build that network, build those relationships, right? And understanding your customers' needs. That the truly, I can't stress that part enough. The more you understand their needs versus them just sending you over a load and you covering it, the growth that you will have. I mean, you'll go from here to here, right? It's exponential, and you'll see that happening. And when it happens, you're going to be like, whoa, truly. So here's some techniques to consider throughout your sales process, right? Prospecting, obviously, that kind of starts things off, right? And there's multiple ways of doing that. Again, cold calling is the classic technique. That's the way that I prefer. I know people think, well, I can cover more ground with an email. Again, emails, while they can be effective, they're very impersonal, and you have no way to rebuttal on a rejection, right? So if the conversation starts to go south, there's no way to turn that around with an email. Okay. And I have a prime example of that today. It's actually wasn't even a customer for myself. It's actually for a member of the group who reached out to me from my post and asked me, hey, Tim, can you help me? I'm on it. And so we are looking for a specific type of shipper in a specific area. And so, I made that call, got the decision maker, started off with the initial phone call, and they were kind of like, well, we're kind of all set, this and that, kind of a thing. And I'm like, are you sure? Because, we really just, I didn't want to be too pushy, but I felt like there was a kind of maybe a little hesitation of telling me 100% no. And so I saw that opening and I utilized it. Right. And so, I said, really, we've got trucks up there every day, because I do know this area, and I do know that there's historically a lot of trucks in that area. And then I started to ask questions, are you primarily shipping FTL? Do you ever have a need for straight trucks? Are you shipping LTL? That kind of thing. And she goes, yeah. She says, but for some reason, I always have a hard time finding straight trucks. Boom, right there. We found a problem. We're going to solve it, right? And this was just in the first probably 2 to 3 minutes of that phone call. Okay. I found that opening. I saw a problem. I found I found out what a problem was, and we're going to fix that for them. So, the conversation really turned from a no to a yes. And by the end of it, they asked for information to be sent over. Okay. So that's, we're going to land that, and they're going to start sending over loads to have them quote. They're a fairly large volume shipper, and they'll do some preliminary quotes, and then as they get closer, because obviously the market will fluctuate a little bit, but helped them out with their first customer. Okay, so something to consider. Second thing is you need to become a consultant, right? Focus on understanding your prospects' business, their specific freight challenges, right? We found out that they were having difficulties sourcing straight trucks for some of their partial loads. And instead of pushing, the service, we asked questions, right? We uncovered a pain point and any inefficiencies that they might have. Okay. So, you really need to be a problem solver, right? You need to be that consultant. Okay. And highlight value. The third thing, highlight value. Don't focus on price. I actually talked to somebody a couple of days ago, and after talking to them, I could kind of tell that during that half-hour phone conversation that obviously they were fairly new, and that's fine. right? But they reached out to me seeking help, and I said, well, okay, we talked about what niche they were in, and they weren't really in a niche. They were just sort of shotgun method. They knew kind of what equipment type that they wanted to work with, but they were sort of all over the board, right? And so as a result, their sales process, their pitch was, again, kind of a shotgun method. It was very general, right? And one of the things that stuck out to me was that they had mentioned about cost savings to that prospect. Well, regardless of the market, right, we never want to focus on price. All right. And while your prospect's cost is important, I think it's better to emphasize how your services can inevitably save them money in the long run, right? By better carrier vetting, okay, making sure their trucks show up on time and that the load doesn't have to, inevitably end up getting pushed out to the following day, right? That would be one way, because now, they've got to hold on to this product, or maybe it's at a cross dock facility or something. Now they've got to pay for another day, things like that. Maybe they're hiring the cheapest truck out there and they're running on bald tires, and, drivers on, I don't know, whatever, too worried about his girlfriend or something, and missing pickups and delivery times and things like that, maybe constant breakdowns, which is slowing down their efficiency to get that product to their customer, right, to the receiver, and it's costing them more money. Maybe they're having to give kickbacks or some sort of a discount for late deliveries, okay? So focus on that. Or maybe they're ending up with a lot of damaged product by going with the cheapest driver, right? Maybe he doesn't know how to keep it under 100, okay? And as a result, you could mention how you have, maybe better tracking, right? I know that there's still some smaller brokerages out there, especially that don't offer tracking, or it's not very good tracking, right? So just a few things to consider there, but yeah, more or less highlight your value, not price. Okay. Number 4 is stay informed. Okay. This goes to another call that I was on today. Keep up on industry trends, freight market data, news about your potential customer, right? We've talked about that before, how I've landed customers by finding out more about them before I even picked up the phone and started dialing, right? And that knowledge can really be used to tailor your pitch and show, how you're an expert in that field, and kind of how much you really want to work with that prospect. Okay. One of the prospects that I called today for another broker was, they already were working with a couple of other brokers, but they had no idea what was going on in the market, right? They were just kind of left in the dark. And so, again, found kind of an opening there. We were able to kind of discuss things, what we were kind of looking at as far as where the market's going to be around the end of Q2, okay? And so they were genuinely interested. And I think right away I was able to provide value, right, on behalf of this other broker by providing that information to that prospect that they didn't have before. So that really kind of intrigued them. And they're thinking, well, what the hell are my other brokers doing for me? They're not letting me know what's going on in the market. For all I know, they could be price gouging me, right? So some things to consider, right? Stay informed, keep informed. Talk to your carriers. Your carriers, when they're able to, talk to them, find out what's going on with them. That gives you some more insight that you can use to better your relationship with your customer. In turn, that might mean more freight. That might mean more freight for your carrier, right? Which in turn also reinforces that relationship with them, and more business for everybody, and everybody's happier. Okay. Again, I apologize if I'm going too fast, and if I am, comment down below. Say, Tim, slow down on the caffeine. Okay. All right. So number 5 is utilize technology, right? That's something that we've kind of talked about before. There's a lot of tools out there that are available to, kind of streamline your freight sales process. Again, don't forget to use your CRM, right, for managing your prospects and customer relationships. Again, email automation for follow-up communication. I don't really like that unless you're going to be out of the office. You should tailor every email to each customer or each prospect accordingly, right? And data and analytics, right? Those tools to track your performance, okay? Because I guarantee you that, by following these processes that I use, again, you're going to go from 0 or 1 customer to now you've got 6 customers, right? And you're kind of more or less complete at that point. You've got, enough freight to keep you busy and your carrier is busy. All right. Where are we at? Number 6, build relationships. Okay. Again, very, very important. I have many relationships. I have a very vast network because that's one of the things that I love to do. I love to communicate with people and, such as yourself. And again, one of the reasons why we have the channel and the group and everything. But the freight industry is all about building trust in long-term partnerships. Okay. It really, truly is. If you're working everything as a one-off, you might see some limited success, but long-term, you really kind of won't. Provide excellent customer service. Okay. Be responsive to their needs. And I don't mean just your customer. Be responsive to your carrier needs as well. Okay. And for you brokers and for you carriers, vice versa. Right. And go that extra mile to exceed expectations. Right. That's something that I've kind of said before: under promise, over deliver. Okay. And I guarantee you're going to look like a rock star in the eyes of your carriers and your customers, for your brokers, and likewise for you carriers, you're going to look like a rock star to that customer and to the broker. Okay. And so essentially by following these techniques, these tips, you can increase your chances of success with your freight sales. All right. Remember, it's a very competitive field. So persistence, expertise, and a focus on building strong relationships will be the key to your success. Okay. You've got to be persistent. Don't worry about the no's. Okay. You're going to get told no. I get told no. Sometimes there's just, maybe that prospect's having like the worst day ever, right? They got up this morning and their favorite coffee cup broke and spilled all over them. Or maybe their high schooler, maybe they got a high schooler and they hogged up the shower and they didn't get as much time in the bathroom or something. Who knows, right? Maybe they got in an argument with their spouse. Could be anything. They got stuck in traffic. They just as simple as they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, right? And sometimes with those cranky ones, you can call them back a couple of days later or the following week, and it'll be a 180, right? Like night and day. They forgot who you were because they were in a bad mood. They were so focused on the negativity that was going on in their life at that point in time. And, that second time around, they might be more responsive, right? And don't forget that even if you do have a good call, but they still tell you no, ask them, if it would be okay to follow up with them, in a month or two to see if maybe their needs had changed, right? Always something to consider. Always look for an opening, okay? Guys, I hope that you found this useful. I hope I didn't go over everything too fast, right? Apparently, I need to seek help for my caffeine addiction. I don't know. But again, don't forget to check out the description down below for those tools and resources, services down there. Really, I can't say enough about every single one of those companies. Just great. Like I said, I utilize them. I'm 100% happy with everybody. And I guess with that, we'll close it out. And as always, be kind to one another. Bye-bye now.